Welcome to the Natural Health Show with one of New England's leading holistic specialists, Mark Mincola. Call Mark at 617-822-1969 on 96.9 Boston Talks.
Welcome home, Natural Health Nation. My name is Mark Mincola, and it's great to have you here. It's time for the best thing about the weekends. It's, of course, natural health time, and we constantly talk about products, and it seems like a lot of times things get lost in the shuffle. We talk about natural health products. We talk about things that could perhaps enhance your natural health over the counters at the natural health stores, etc. But more often than not, folks kind of, again, lose a lot of the ongoing translation. There's so many different nutritional news stories that are coming out all the time, a lot of research. There's a tremendous amount of energy being put into the world of nutrition and nutritional discoveries. But I picked on something today that I thought was really fascinating because it's a product, it's a biochemical agent that we produce and store in our bodies and our brains that make a remarkable difference in our day-to-day lives and is available as a nutrient over the counter at the health food stores. But most of the great research about this particular product was done in the 80s. And yet, it is, in my opinion, one of the top 5 supplements that's all but forgotten. And it's just a remarkable, remarkable supplement. Phosphatidylserine, or PS. Phosphatidylserine, S-E-R-I-N-E, PS is what it's also referred to as. PS is a natural occurring phospholipid of cells, very important for the maintenance of cell membranes in highest concentration in brain cells. But there have been some remarkable double-blind human studies since the 80s. In fact, there have been over 20 human double-blind studies, 16 of which were concerning the bovine cortex, which is no longer being used. And 4 of these studies are really powerful studies, 2 of which are double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled studies in 1991, 1992. And they were performed at the Memory Assessment Clinics in Bethesda, Maryland. And the second of those 2 is also in collaboration with Vanderbilt University regarding PS, phosphatidylserine. And again, we're talking about 2 groups of people that were separated in these respective studies. One was a treatment group, one was a placebo group. They were 12-week studies, and they found remarkable differences with regard to recall of names, recall of locations, recall of misplaced objects, recall of details, recall of events, attention, concentration, focus, memory, mood. So again, we're talking about memory, judgment, abstract thought, personality, behavior, mood, the manner in which your brain functions. Is your brain inclined to be a little bit on the downside? Is your mood on the downside? Is your ability to recall where you put your car keys, your ability to get into school tomorrow, into work tomorrow, and have your brain clicking on all 4 cylinders? And that's really what phosphatidylserine, or PS, is really all about. So these two studies in particular, these double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled, multi-center studies from 1991, 1992, clearly indicated that when administered in very small doses, 100 to 300 milligrams, that indeed we have a significant impact with regard to improvement of memory, judgment, abstract thought, personality, behavior, mood, on and on. The manner in which your brain functions is largely the result of nutrients that are stored and circulated in the brain. And phosphatidylserine is one of those. I also refer to another one quite often here on the broadcast. I talk about DMAE, dimethylaminoethanol, DMAE. It's my contention that these 2 work remarkably well together. Again, DMAE and phosphatidylserine, or PS. And these are 2 superstar supplements that can be purchased over the counter at the health food store and are, again, remarkable difference makers when it comes to the manner in which the human brain functions with regards to memory, mood, etc. So I figure this is the time of year where so many of us, summertime and the living is easy. And this is no longer really, that doesn't apply so much anymore. Summer is dwindling. There's only a few days left of summer. And, of course, for all intents and purposes, everybody's back back in their rhythm, in their fall schedule at school, at work, etc. So, you can kind of take it easy with that brain during the summer months and let the mood just kind of elevate with all that light and all that warmth and hopefully plenty of vacation time and fun time. But we're getting into a different time of year right now where folks are really being put to the test in school, at work, etc. And that brain needs all the advantage that it can possibly obtain. So phosphatidylserine, PS, is a great topic for this time of year. And aside from that particular topic and the way that it helps your brain to function as a remarkable nutritional supplement, of course, here on the Natural Health Show, it is our custom to make sure that we're available to take your calls, to answer your questions regarding virtually any issue regarding natural medicine, natural health, diet, nutrition, etc. We see you walking down those aisles at the health food stores during the week looking a little lost. So we're here on Sundays to make sure that that doesn't happen next week. So you have questions about your vitamins, what to take, what's the best way to naturally approach a health issue. That's what we're here for. So again, if you want to give us a call, we will definitely tackle those questions with you. In Boston and New England, 617-8221-9069. Verizon Wireless users, it is a free call. Just dial pound 969. And again, we're here to take your calls regarding natural health issues. But we will be discussing this issue of phosphatidylserine, which to me is a remarkably well-studied but is seemingly forgotten nutrient that shouldn't be. Someone actually asked me the other day in my practice what I thought of when I thought of a supplement that could be formulated to increase cognitive function, memory, brain efficiency, mood efficiency. And the first two things that came to my mind were, again, DMAE and phosphatidylserine. They are powerhouses, and they are indeed extremely valuable. And, the other thing I'd say, too, is very rarely do you recommend a supplement that really has a positive, noticeable effect and in very short order. In other words, rarely are you going to find a supplement that if you take it today, you're going to notice a result today or tomorrow, the next day. Very rarely does that happen. Typically, it takes time for absorption, assimilation, for a nutrient to really make its impression, to really bring about results and effects. The other thing is we often talk about brain-blood barrier, whether or not a nutrient really has the ability to truly be absorbed at a brain level. It's not easy to really get nutrients delivered efficiently to that brain level. And with good reason. The brain protects itself from a lot of not-so-healthy things, and it's very defensive about letting anything in that door, which is a good thing for us. But again, it's difficult for the brain to negotiate supplements for that very same reason, getting past that brain-blood barrier absorption. Tough stuff. But phosphatidylserine is one of those things that is fairly readily absorbed. DMAE is as well. These two brain boosters are pretty readily assimilatable and pretty efficient at getting the job done. And most importantly, as I was suggesting earlier, seem to be able to get the job done in short order. You take these supplements, not very long before you notice the difference. I've recommended them for 30 years, and again, I find people consistently across the board reporting back that, again, much sharper in classroom, much sharper in the courtroom, much sharper at work, much sharper in general in terms of cognitive function, memory, and getting that brain at its absolute best, and getting it to feel good as well, because I think the two really do indeed go together. So phosphatidylserine is well worth our discussion tonight, and that's what we're going to be talking about throughout the course of the evening. We're also going to be talking with you about your questions again in Boston and New England, 617-8221-9069. Verizon Wireless users, it's a free call. Just dial pound 969. My name is Mark Mincola. You are listening to The Natural Health Show. We'll be right back.
What is the topic? Talk that matters most to you. 96.9 Boston Talks. The brain requires nutrition just like the rest of the body. Although many of us depend upon caffeine for focus and concentration, caffeine is not actually a nutrient. Real nutrition is needed to enhance brain metabolism and provide antioxidant protection. This is where Jarrow Formula's Neuro Optimizer comes to the rescue. Neuro Optimizer is a concentrated source of the nutrients needed for memory and mood, for concentration and focus, all without being a stimulant. Neuro Optimizer supplies the building blocks for neurotransmitters, the chemicals that allow cells in the brain to communicate and to file away memories. Acetyl L-carnitine and alpha-lipoic acid support brain energy production. Phosphatidylserine, L-glutamine, and taurine enhance brain stability and detoxification in the face of stress. Neuro Optimizer is the nutritional answer to the brain's needs. Ask for Neuro Optimizer at your local health food store, or for more information, go to jarrow.com. That's Jarrow for the best in brain health formulas.
Do you own or manage a natural health, fitness, day spa, or go green business? Perhaps you have a unique restaurant that offers healthy entrees, heart-smart seafood, vegetarian or lighter fare options. I invite you to share your vision and deliver your message directly to health-conscious New Englanders by becoming a sponsor of the Natural Health Show, New England's #1 health radio show. The Natural Health Show is now welcoming potential sponsors to join our natural health family by offering a number of creative and flexible sponsorship packages. For information on how to become a sponsor of the Natural Health Show, simply call Candida at 781-834-2728. That's 781-834-2728. Be a part of New England's natural health revolution. Join our Natural Health Show family today.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. It's back to school again, and now more than ever is the time to think healthy. Nutrition experts know that 70% of the human immune system resides in the belly, so eating healthy and taking the correct probiotic is important. Don't be fooled by all those yogurt ads. The truth is, some yogurts do have small amounts of acidophilus, but they also have sugars and extra calories. There's no substitute for the real thing. Everyone in your family will benefit from probiotics. They improve digestion, metabolism, skin health, and general detoxification. Come see us in Quincy and Hanover. We're online at goodhealthnaturalfood.com. Visit our children's sections and ask about Nature's Plus Animal Parade Gold Chewables with probiotics and vitamin D, and our delicious chewable greens for kids. Pick up some antibacterial products and eco-friendly lunch totes. This fall, protect your whole family naturally with Megaflora, New Chapter, and Renew Life probiotics. Good Health Natural Foods, where back to school is stress-free and affordable. Come by and see us today, and thanks for listening.
Now, back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover.
In Boston and New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon Wireless users, free call, pound 969. Let's get to these calls. Carrie from Easton, welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks. You are on the Natural Health Show.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
I just had a question, the difference between Ginkgo and what you were discussing, the PS
Yes, well,
supplement.
Yep. Well, ginkgo biloba, of course, is something that many folks have touted, and there have been studies regarding the ability of ginkgo to support memory function. And there are some interesting studies that would indicate that ginkgo has proven to be helpful in those areas in certain small population studies. But it works very, very differently than phosphatidylserine. Phosphatidylserine really is not just a memory enhancer. It's something that is, again, it's an analog. It's naturally occurring in phospholipids of cells. So in other words, it's naturally occurring within the fat in your brain cells. So it's kind of part of what the brain already has, and it's mimicked throughout a variety of different other sources in nature. Like it's soy, for example, is one of the other places in nature where that very same fat is mimicked.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're taking something that is really vital to brain function that nature put there. So nature put this in our brains as a healthy fat to really regulate cells and really perform a lot of really important day-to-day tasks. So it's extremely vital that this natural fat is in high presence in our brain, helping the brain perform all of its remarkable functions. Whereas ginkgo biloba is an herb, it's not really to be compared with this natural agent that already occurs as a phospholipid in our brain. So what we're trying to do with phosphatidylserine, Carrie, is enhance our presence. Increase the amount of phosphatidylserine as a phospholipid occurring in our brain, and to support and boost those functions, those vital functions that it has. But again, no, your point is good. But I think the way I would differentiate them is I would say that the ginkgo is really almost exclusively for memory. And I would say the phosphatidylserine, again, is for quite a few different aspects of brain function. It's really broad-based in terms of the brain function that it supports, leading to, according to a lot of studies, a greater ability to remember names, locations, misplaced objects, details, recall of events, attention, concentration, focus. Even studies, there have been 2 studies spoken about in WebMD that indicate that it's actually been even helpful for Alzheimer patients. So it seems to have a real broad range, is the way I would describe it.
Any side effects in taking it?
No, it's been researched since 1982, and there have been none found to date.
Okay.
So it's quite a remarkable product. Hey, thanks for calling. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, once again, our numbers in Boston and New England, 617-822-1269. Verizon Wireless uses free call, pound 96.9. Let's get to Dana in Medford. Welcome to 96.9 Boston Talk here on the Natural Health Show.
Hi. My question sort of piggybacks the last one as far as side effects and whether or not those have the DMAE also have been shown to react with anything else, like any other supplements.
Yeah, in other words, you're asking about contraindications. Well, no. There have, again, to date, the studies since the 80s have found no particular contraindications and no negative side effects. There have been over 20 double blinds. Now, here's what I would say that probably the closest thing to an affirmative answer in that regard is that phosphatidylserine, again, is a phospholipid occurring in many different things. It occurs in the human brain, it occurs in soy, like we just pointed out, but it also occurs in cows' brains, in the cortex of cows' brains. There have been 20 double-blind studies so far. 16 of them were actually studying the bovine cortex from cows' brains. So, obviously, because of the grave concern about prion infection, those studies have been discontinued, and any possible recommendations of bovine cortex serine have been pretty much wiped off the table with good reason. But the soy, what the contention is now is we're studying the soy serine to see if in fact it has the same therapeutic properties. And initially it didn't appear that way, but now the newer studies since 2006 would appear to indeed show the same promise. So that's how I'd answer that.
Okay, and as far as the DMAE, what dosage would you recommend? Yeah,
there's 2 different dosages you're going to find with dimethylaminoethanol, or DMAE. You're going to find 100 milligrams. You're also going to find 200 milligrams. I think that if you really want to notice a result and your brain is just not quite as crisp and as clear and as cognitively present as you'd like it to be, and if your memory's not working the right way you'd like it to, etc., and you want a real quick overnight brain boost, I'd say you go the 200 milligrams and do at least 2 of those a day, or if not 2, even 3 a day. So 1 mid-morning, 1 mid-afternoon at least. Better tolerated, better utilized, better absorbed on an empty stomach. So 200 milligrams twice a day, empty stomach is what I'd recommend.
Okay, and one last question.
Sure.
Would you work up to that dosage, or would you just go like 3 a day right away?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't hesitate to go for it. I mean, I've recommended it for years and years and years, and first of all, like we said, there's not a lot of negative information about it. There's a great deal of study on DMAE as well. In fact, it was originally back in the 70s and early 80s, DMAE was actually a pharmaceutical prescriptive agent, something you couldn't get over the counter. But the FDA decided in its wisdom that it was not to be considered a pharmaceutical drug of any kind, but rather a food supplement. So they then opened it up to shelf sale, and all the health food stores started to stock it because it was initially studied by Dr. Leon Ettinger back in the late 60s and early 70s as a remarkable agent for ADD and ADHD. And it had great study response and remarkable information that we gleaned from those first studies with Dr. Ettinger regarding the potential of DMAE to really enhance ADD, ADHD deficit problems, and really to enhance cognitive function, memory, etc. So it's a great product, real safe stuff. It's been studied for years, and I'd say you go for 200 milligrams twice or even 3 times a day, empty stomach, not to hesitate or worry about that at all.
Great, thanks a lot. lot.
Pleasure. Thanks for calling. Yeah, so these two supplements, kind of interesting. We just heard the Jaro Formulas commercial during the last break, which actually pointed out that they have a great formula that includes both of these agents, which is really, really special stuff. I mean, when you formulate like that and you have somebody who knows how to formulate, and surely Jaro Formulas does a great job with formulation, no question about that, no big secret there. But to take something like phosphatidylserine and dimethylaminoethanol, these natural, safe over-the-counter products, and to be able to kind of team them up, pair them up in a supplement and formulate them in such a way is a great neuro-optimizer, again, for mood, for attitude, for keeping a positive mental attitude, and for keeping the brain sharp, crystal clear, and very capable. And that's exactly what these kind of formulas are all about. So I think the objective is can you do this kind of thing yourself? Yeah, I think you can. You can either purchase the Jaro Formulas Neuro Optimizer, which is a great product, or like we said a little while ago, you can actually start off with a little bit of phosphatidylserine and or DMAE. Safe enough to do that, not a problem to do that. I'd recommend it. If you might start off by using the two of these things on your own, just again, 100 milligrams of phosphatidylserine mid-morning, 200 milligrams of DMAE mid-morning, and repeat that again mid-afternoon just to see how you feel over the first couple of days. Could be pricey, when you get both of these supplements and you're using them separately. As effective as they are, you can still save money by buying a synergist. So something like the Jaro Optimizer, you might want to just kind of go into that kind of a realm after you try a little bit of working with these things on your own. Again, I'd recommend you start off one at a time. Start off with phosphatidylserine for 2 or 3 days, see how that affects you. The DMAE for a few days after that, isolatedly, and see how that affects you. And then team them up, see what happens, and then if that works, go to the Jaro nutritional, or the Nerve Optimizer, and there they are, pooled for you together as one supplement. Let's go to calls again. Anita from Lowell, welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks. You're on the Natural Health Show.
Hi there.
How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I have a question about IBS.
Yes, irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah, I've had a problem for quite a few years with constipation, mainly. And I went to the doctor, and I went through about 5 or 6 different kinds of tests, and nothing came up. It was all negative. And my problem, mainly, besides the constipation, is that I have, it's called incomplete evacuation.
Right.
And that I just have it all the time.
Yeah, again, here's the thing, Anita, is that the peristalsis is a problem, again, and I think that the lower GI, the lower intestines, have everything to do with the upper. And, whatever is poorly assimilated, improperly digested in your upper furnace, your upper machinery isn't getting the job done efficiently, it passes the problem on down to the lower tract. This is gravity we're talking about. So, you often hear me say this, but I can't state it enough. We have great sponsors in this program for a reason. We like to pick on people that we really have great trust and great faith in, and we're fortunate to have them backing us up here. But Alletes, ALLETESS, Alletes Medical Laboratories. They're in Rockland, Mass. What I recommend is the IgG test. It's an immune globulin G food allergy test. It tests you for 100 foods, the most common day-to-day foods. It tests you in a range from like 0 to over 900. Anything over 200 is inflammatory. If food is treating you in an inflammatory fashion, doesn't matter what food it is, it can be wheat, can be dairy, it could be something very obscure, it could be apples and celery. We never know until we're tested. But to find out specifically, Anita, which foods are causing your problem digestively in the upper tract, your body is not breaking those foods down, it's passing them on down to the lower tract and becoming a problem in your lower GI. So you want to get somehow to make sure you get that test done, so have your physician or somebody requisition that. And again, if you want to go on the internet, you can check out their website. It's well worth a peek. It's www.foodallergy.com. Easy enough, foodallergy.com. But Alletes medical labs will help you get to the bottom of what's bothering you and what's not allowing your system to really flow from top to bottom here. And I think the other thing I'd recommend, one other thing I'd recommend is Jar Formulas. Again, one of our other sponsors has a great product called Femdophilus, F-E-M Dophilus.
F-E-M.
F-E-M as in feminine, Femdophilus, D-O-P-H-I-L-U-S. It's an acidophilus culture specifically for women. It works great, and it's a great way to help regulate that bowel and help you get things moving a little bit more smoothly. So I'd recommend you do those two things, and I will absolutely, I'll tell you, I have great faith in those two results happening in a way that you'd want them to turn out. So think about that and get back to us and let us know how you made out.
Can I just ask you, can that IgG test be done in any lab?
No, it can't, unfortunately. I wish it could. It's an ELISA test, and you're going to have to contact the folks at Alitest Medical Laboratories in Rockland.
Right.
And the Femdophilus is something you can easily buy down at Good Health Natural Foods. I know they keep Jar products in stock, and you might want to check it out.
All right. I hope that'll do some good.
I guarantee it'll do some good.
I'm taking fiber.
Yep.
Fiber does any...
Well, again, fiber is sort of, where you're sort of elephant hunting with a pea shooter here. I think what you need to do is get to the source of the problem. If what you're putting in your upper GI isn't being recognized, isn't being efficiently digested, and then you're passing that bulk on down to the lower tract day in, day out, meal in, meal out, it's accumulating, concentrating, it's leaving you with a very dense problem that fiber is just simply not going to be powerful enough to turn around.
And what about something like Miralax?
Helpful, but again, not the kind of solution you want to rely on an everyday basis. You want to get to the root of the problem and eliminate it. You don't want to have to masquerade it.
Right.
No camouflaging.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
All right, thanks so much for calling. Good luck. Take care of yourself. We're going to take one more call here. Let's go to, how about Bill in Auburn? Welcome, Bill, to 96.9 Boston Talks. You are on the Natural Health Show.
Hi, this is Bill, and so the situation is I'm about a year done from chemotherapy. I had colon cancer.
Okay.
And I have, somewhat low platelets at 94,000. And, from the last blood test, I'm down from 98,000. So I tried with the thought from my doctor to stop taking fish oil, which I think is a good thing to take.
Sure it is.
And he figured, well, it thins blood, so maybe that would make a difference. And this time I went with the fish oil, and I have a lower blood count for platelets. Everything else is fantastic.
Great.
So,
that's good news, isn't it?
Any thoughts?
Yeah, well, a couple things. I think that, you want, in my opinion, one of the most important things to do would be to take a look at your urinary pH, whether your body's more on the acid or alkaline spectrum. The urine pH runs from 5.5 up to about 8.0. And the reason I make a big fuss about that is, and again, at Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover, you can purchase the proper urine strips. Now, I say proper because they're all calibrated a little bit differently. These are the Fidrian .067s. They're calibrated in tenths, so they're really, really accurate. The key to this issue would be you want to test your first morning's urine, Bill, and you want to do that for 3 consecutive days. Average the 3, add them together, divide by 3. You want your urine to be between 6.4 and 6.8. If you're under 6.4, your body's too acidic. If your body's too acidic, then unfortunately you're running into problems with inefficiency of oxygen delivery to the cell. We're told that if you think, for example, about every tenth of a point of your urinary pH, every tenth of a point is equal to 64.9% oxygen differential. So it's really all about oxygen in terms of these platelets and blood quality. It's been proven time and time again. Dr. Bernard Jensen did a lot of research on it at Duquesne University many years ago, but the objective really is to increase the hemoglobin response. If you want to get your oxygen levels up, you're going to probably have to use some chlorophyll, liquid chlorophyll, 2 tablespoons, 3 ounces of water 3 times a day, and perhaps even a half a teaspoon, a quarter teaspoon of baking soda and 2 ounces of water before bed. That's the quickest way to get that pH up and to oxygenate your blood and to build that blood value up a little bit.
So that particular blood value, just platelets. So just knowing that my hemoglobin, everything else is completely normal, that the oxaliplatin or the different things that I took just wiped out the platelets. That's it. You think just? Well, sure. I do have that pH test.
Yeah, I
haven't done it in a while. The problem was, I was taking so many things right up.
Yeah, of course.
On an empty stomach that. it's behind me now. But
yeah, it wasn't good timing then, but I think you need to get back on the stick with that now. And if you have any further questions about that, you can email me and I'll answer your questions. I'll steward you through that process and answer your questions. And you get that through my website. It's maxhealing.com. So one word, maxhealing.com, and I'll dialogue with you about that. All right, I guess he's gone. Anyway, it's about that time for a little break. We're going to have to get a couple commercial messages out here at you, and we'll take your calls. As soon as we get back from these messages, stay right where you are.
Your campaign connection, 96.9 Boston Talks.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. We're excited to partner with Life Extension, the industry leader in anti-aging and optimal health for over 30 years. Life Extension funds and reports scientific breakthroughs on anti-aging protocols and nutrition, then formulates cutting-edge supplements based on that successful clinical research. So when you purchase any science-based Life Extension supplement from Good Health, you can be sure of its potency, purity, and efficacy. They work. It's that simple. In fact, Life Extension supplements are complex nutrition made easy. So visit Good Health in Quincy and Hanover today. Ask about Life Extension's premium quality formulations, anti-aging as well as weight loss, hormone balancing, bone and joint health, heart and brain health, and so much more. Learn more about Life Extension products at goodhealthnaturalfood.com. Then pick up your free copy of Life Extension magazine at your local Good Health store. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.
You know, when most people hear the word allergies, they think only of hay fever-like symptoms associated with airborne pollen, dust, and mold. But did you know that many experts estimate that between 60 and 80 million of us suffer from immune-related food allergies without even knowing it? Furthermore, food allergies often contribute to serious health problems such as autism, irritable bowel syndrome, ADD, headaches, and chronic ear infections. Now, there's an effective way to identify and eliminate both your food allergies and the troubling symptoms that they aggravate. Allotest Medical Labs at foodallergy.com offers a full complement of clinical, environmental, and food allergy testing to help you get to the root of your allergy problems. Allotest also provides you with a comprehensive rotation diet, lifestyle booklet, and a wallet card to help you live food allergy-free and stress-free. Do you wonder if you or your loved ones are among the 60 to 80 million food allergy sufferers in America? If so, log on to Allotest Medical Labs, foodallergy.com. Talk to your doctor about ordering a food allergy test from Allotest Medical Labs today. Foodallergy.com. Make sure the food you're eating isn't what's depleting you.
The brain requires nutrition just like the rest of the body. Although many of us depend upon caffeine for focus and concentration, caffeine is not actually a nutrient. Real nutrition is needed to enhance brain metabolism and provide antioxidant protection. This is where Jarrow Formula's Neuro-Optimizer comes to the rescue. Neuro-Optimizer is a concentrated source of the nutrients needed for memory and mood, for concentration and focus, all without being a stimulant. Neuro-Optimizer supplies the building blocks for neurotransmitters, the chemicals that allow cells in the brain to communicate and to file away memories. Acetyl-L-carnitine and alpha-lipoic acid support brain energy production. Phosphatidylserine, L-glutamine, and taurine enhance brain stability and detoxification in the face of stress. Neuro-Optimizer is the nutritional answer to the brain's needs. Ask for Neuro-Optimizer at your local health food store, or for more information, go to Jarrow.com. That's Jarrow for the best in brain health formulas.
Now, back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover.
In Boston and New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon Wireless users, it's a free call for y'all, pound 969. Let's get to these calls. We've got, we've got Karen on the line from Canton. Welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks. You are on the Natural Health Show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. How
Pleasure.
are you today?
Terrific. How are you?
Good. Would you mind answering 3 questions?
Sure.
First, most importantly, my father had glaucoma.
Yep.
So I know it's hereditary. And when I went to the eye doctor a few days ago, my pressure was a little bit up, so he wanted me to come back in 6 months. Mm-hmm. And when I asked him if there's anything you could do to prevent it, he said no. But I did a little research.
And he said no because he assumes that it's purely a hereditary issue, right?
Yes.
There's a gentleman by the name of J. Craig Ventore, and he is the father of the modern human genome. J. Craig Ventore has written countless articles on how the genetic determinism philosophy is all but dead, and that with only 30,000 genes, we just simply can't have that much of an influence like we think. So I forgot what the percentage that he attributed to it. He did the math on it, but he said we have to start realizing that even though you can only change a gene, 0.1% every 250 generations, which forget about changing your genes. But you can change the behavior of genes based on the way you eat, the way you think, et cetera, lifestyle and all that business. So we need to start thinking more in preventive, self-empowering terms, and that information that you received, in my opinion, is not healthy information. I would choose to go a different route. But what I would recommend supplement-wise is I'd recommend something called carnosine, C-A-R-N-O-S-I-N-E, carnosine. And carnosine is a combination of amino acids in liquid form. And there's actually a company called Carno-C, S-E-E, C-A-R-N-O-S-E-E, Carno-C, that makes drops. It's a little bit pricey, but it's really well worth using. There's some great studies on it. Good Health Natural Foods carries it. And again, I would recommend you take the drops as directed. In addition, Jarrow Formulas makes a wonderful product called Vision Optimizer, which has astaxanthin. And again, if you want to do some remarkable research and get really turned on about the possibilities here, there's some great research about astaxanthin. Astaxanthin is in the product that I just mentioned. Jarrow Formulas Vision Optimizer. Again, I'd recommend those two things.
Okay, I was going to ask you about foods to maybe stay away from.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's also a great question as well. And I think that the answer there is you want to be very, very careful about inflammatory foods. We often talk about that on the Natural Health Show, right, that inflammation and anti-inflammation is really something that is biochemically programmable through fat. You know, you've got 6 fats, fatty acids from nutrition in the world of dieting and nutrition that actually have a very significant bearing and influence on whether or not we're overproducing inflammatory hormones in the body. Here's the deal. The natural byproducts or resources, if you will, that all hormones are produced from are fats. Where do fats come from? Foods. So, you know, when you and I are producing too much inflammation in our genetic expressions, the bad genetic expressions that we don't want to have happening, like in your case, you want to lay off the inflammatory foods. So I'd say be careful, or cut way down on the egg yolks, not the whites, but the yolks. Too much dairy, too much peanut butter activity, and red meats. Those are the 4 that I always tell people if you're having a lot of inflammatory expression, cut down on those. And maybe even more importantly is increase the anti-inflammatories, increase more soy in the diet. You want to increase things like pumpkin seeds, walnuts, a lot more fatty fish. Of course, we all know about the fatty fish, flax. Those are all really important counteractive anti-inflammatories, and spices as well. You know, we keep hearing more and more about things like turmeric, curcumin, cumin, ginger, rosemary. These are all powerfully anti-inflammatory, high ORAC factor antioxidants that have the opposite effect. So there's the direction I'd head in.
Okay, I do listen to you, so I do those things that you just mentioned.
Great.
But my second question is, the guideline, I tell people the guidelines about how much sugar you should have daily is approximately 30 grams. And what my question to you is, do you count the natural sugars like in a fruit, or do you just count like added sugar when you're adding how much sugar you're having per day?
Well, again, I think that the objective is that you have to make sure that you understand that we're talking here about 2 different kinds of sugar. You're talking about the disaccharides or the poly and monosaccharides, you know, good sugar, bad sugar, if you will.
Right.
So no, I think the liver is where this stuff is processed in the body. All your carbs, which sugar is. People forget that sugar is a carbohydrate, but they're all processed in the liver in a process called anaerobic glycolysis. So carbohydrates are designed to be energy foods, and they all produce a different type of energy. Obviously, some give you an immediate boost and then crash, which is what sort of disaccharides, highly processed sugars do. So I think most of those need to be thought of in terms of that 30-gram business, because, you know, your liver can only tolerate 50 total grams a day, but you don't want to go anywhere near that number. So the objective is to keep 30 grams as your total limit based on the ingredients that you're reading on the side of the label. So when you're reading a label and it says, you know, it has 6 grams of sugar, 10 grams of sugar, that counts as your 30. I always tell people per serving, you want to go single digits, keep it as low as you possibly can. So
these are all healthy things, like, for example, organic raisins, dried cranberries. These are all healthy sugars, but I didn't know if I could count it.
No, I don't agree with that. I think those are high glycemic sugars. In other words, the difference between an apple versus a serving of raisins is like night and day.
Okay.
Do the comparisons on those. You'll see single digits with the apple and the pear, and you'll see double digits with the serving of dried fruits, because dried fruits are obviously much more concentrated in their sugars. So there's what are called high glycemic and low glycemic indexed fruits. Some have more sugar available, some have less sugar available. Okay. You want to go for the low glycemic index. Go on the internet, Google glycemic index, and start looking at the indexes of foods. Go with the low numbers.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, without me having to do a lot of research on krill oil / fish oil, as far as which is the best one to get, as far as what specs you want it when you're looking at the ingredients, etc. Without me having to do a lot of research, can you give me a guideline on? I don't know if Nature Made, if I know that's not one of these, if that's not a good product, a good manufacturer, but as far as I know, I've seen a little bit of, you should buy it if it's blah, 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 blah. It gives you all these specs, what you want in a krill oil or fish oil supplement. Yeah,
well, I think that question has come up quite a bit of late, and I think it's because a lot of people have been writing about krill oil in a lot of the newsletters and whatnot. But here's the deal. I think the bottom line of it is this. The manufacturer, the word you used is the buzzword. People like Nordic Naturals, they make among the highest quality. Why do I think manufacturer is the buzzword? For the simple reason that a lot of sea products are going to have mercury, methyl mercury. And again, mercury is a very dangerous inflammatory neurotoxin that is appearing more and more and more in our waterways and our seafoods, and it's really an ongoing toxic issue that's really becoming a very grave issue. So here's the thing. I think the bottom line of it is you want to make sure that you've got a manufacturer who is not inclined to just kind of leave the mercury problem in your lap. And people like Nordic are screening this mercury. They're going to make sure that the mercury is not present in these high concentrations of seafood supplements like the omega-3s. So I like Nordic Natural products, and I still am a believer of fish oils. I know a lot of people are debating that. There's too many studies. There's just too much information that would support evidentially the use of the omega-3 fish oils. Again, the key is a good manufacturer like Nordic Naturals and Jarrow Formulas, of course.
Jarrow. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much for your information.
Pleasure.
I hope you have a wonderful day.
Hey, thanks. You too. Thanks for the call. Bye-bye. All right, let's get to, let's see, who's been patient here. Jane from Topsfield. She's been very, very patient, and we welcome you to 96.9 Boston Talks. Welcome to the Natural Health Show.
Hi, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I'm not in Topsfield anymore. I've been driving down 95. But
so it's Jane in car, I guess, right?
That's okay. And actually, I did call asking about hot flashes, but I'm wondering, I have a thyroid issue. I wonder maybe if I could change my question a little and see if I had been treating it with the prescription that they give you with Levoxyl.
Yep.
I'm wondering if there is, anything that, as far as an herb, to take the place of Levoxyl, and if maybe that's, why I am having this increasing amount of hot flashes.
Well, I think it's a very wise assumption on your part. It's certainly a real good educated guess, because when you think about what hot flashes are, first of all, 85% of the women in America at some point in their lifetime do experience hot flashes. Why? Because estrogen takes a dip, and when estrogen takes a dip, it confuses the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus basically is the body's thermostat. So that's what sets up the hot flash problem. So obviously, if the hypothalamus is in balance, then it relates to all the other endocrine systems in the body, like the parathyroid, thyroid, etc. There's a close relationship, an interrelationship between these organ systems, these gland systems. So it's a great, great guess on your part, especially if it's a sore thumb like it is. So here's what I'd say about that: to replace or to support your thyroid for T4, because it's a T4 medicine only. So to boost that T4 support naturally, yes. Selenomethionine. It's a form of selenium, S-E-L-E-N-O, selenomethionine, M-E-T-H-I-O-N-I-N-E, selenomethionine, 200 mcgs a day, zinc in the form of gluconate, 50 milligrams a day, and a good B complex like the NOW brand, the NOW B50s, 2 a day, one with breakfast, one with lunch. So those are the 3 things that I'd recommend. And, if your temperatures are running on the low side, I might throw some kelp in there as well, because it has a little bit of iodine that might boost that thyroid as well. So those are the 2 or 3 things I think are pretty important.
Okay, that sounds great. And it seems like, I've been talking to a lot of women. It almost seems like it's an epidemic that so many people I know are hypo, that their thyroid is giving out.
And I'm going to, as soon as we get back from these breaks, I will discuss my theory about why that is true. And I agree 100% with you. It feels like thyroid problems are pandemic. And I'll talk about why right after these messages. Thank you so much for your call, by the way, and we'll be right back.
Talk radio with the New England Pulse. 96.9 Boston Talks.
Do you have questions about hearing loss? Questions like who makes the best hearing aids and how much do they cost? Hearing technology has entered the digital age with many invisible and nearly invisible options, and many are Bluetooth compatible. See what's available in hearing technology. Call Enhanced Auditory Resources of Newton today to receive your copy of the 2011 Consumer's Guide to Hearing Aids, delivered free to your home. This free guide compares over 400 models and 24 worldwide brands of hearing aids. Call Enhanced Auditory Resources of Newton today for your free copy at 617-600-3340. That's 617-600-3340. Enhanced Auditory Resources medical team is led by Dr. Ken Bozeman and is located in the Wells Office Park in Newton. Call their friendly team of professionals today at 617-600-3340 for your free copy of the 2011 Consumer's Guide to Hearing Aids, or visit earresources.com for more information.
Framingham Cosmetic Dentistry is a world-class cosmetic and general dentist office in Framingham. Jim is a patient.
My teeth were pretty bad. I was kind of embarrassed to smile. Every dentist I went to told me I needed a surgery, had to have a bone removed from my jaw. It's a pretty scary thing. This past summer, I was at my cousin's wedding. I met Dr. Kaloji, wonderful guy. I had told him what other dentists told me. He said to me, I think I can help you. I think we can do that a different way.
At Framingham Cosmetic Dentistry, they believe in patient care that's personalized, affordable, and comfortable.
The main thing I noticed was it was virtually pain-free, as promised. To say my life changed a bit would be an understatement. I was never much on smiling. Now all of a sudden everybody's asking me, what are you so happy about? The funny thing was, people would notice something, but they couldn't put their finger on it. People would say, hey, have you lost weight? You've been working out? God, no. But I certainly knew what it was. It was this beautiful smile.
See Dr. Ron Kaloji at Framingham Cosmetic Dentistry. Find out more at FraminghamCosmeticDentist.com.
Wonderful people, great job. I can't say enough about the place.
If you or a family member are affected by alcoholism or drug addiction, the first step to getting treatment can be intervention. Hi, I'm Woody Giesman, a board-registered interventionist and founder and CEO of Right Turn, an innovative, intensive outpatient substance abuse program. My kind and gentle approach to intervention helps make the transition from addiction to treatment less stressful for the chemically dependent person and his or her family. If you are in a situation that feels out of control with a loved one who needs help fighting addiction, know that you are not alone. I can and will help you get the treatment and counseling you need. Take back control of your life. Call me at 617-365-9460. That's 617-365-9460. Or you can learn more about intervention at right-turn.org. Remember, addiction is treatable. There is hope. Right Turn, a creative place for recovery.
Now, back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover.
All right, we've been getting some calls off air that are interested in having questions answered. So, here's the deal. We got to cover a lot of ground in 1 hour. It's only a 1 hour show, and we put about 2 hours of information into this 1 hour show, maybe even more than 2 hours worth. But anyway, the bottom line of it is that we want to make sure that everybody does know that we're looking out for you. If you have an interest in gleaning this information and capturing all that we talk about, you can get on our website. It's Max Healing, just one word, maxhealing.com. And we actually have podcasts of each of these programs recorded and archived on there. So if there's anything you missed in a given program, just go back over it and you can watch it and grasp it. And also, if you have any other topics that you might want to take a look at from shows gone by, you can also grab those as well. So that's Max Healing, one word, maxhealing.com. Also, I told you before the last break that I was going to kind of discuss real briefly why I believe and I do fully agree with the last caller there before that break, there is no question about the fact that there is a thyroid pandemic. There's a book that I often talk about and refer folks to. It's called Solved The Riddle of Illness. It's kind of a goofy name, but that's the name of a great, great book nonetheless. Solved the Riddle of Illness. And it was written by Dr. Stephen Langer, from the formerly from the Broda Barnes Thyroid Research Foundation in Trumbull, Connecticut. It's a superb book, great read. Very simple, easy to understand, but a lot of great, great information there about the thyroid function. But, they talk about how they say that 40% of all thyroid, or whatever, some huge number of thyroid, is undiagnosed. It's not even being treated or diagnosed, and that it's the cause of 64 common ailments, diseases, and conditions. So it's being masked in a sense. All those conditions, those other sicknesses, and other health problems are being masked by an undisclosed or an undiscovered, non-diagnosed thyroid problem. So it's a great book. It talks about all that business, but it also really clarifies this and agrees with that same philosophy, or that same assumption, I should say, that thyroid problems are pandemic, more so than they've ever been. It just seems like they're steadily on the increase, especially for women, it seems. But, I think that has a great deal to do with the adrenal glands. Folks, the adrenal glands are your stress glands. You produce adrenaline when you get really nervous or tense, when you're racing out to work at 7 o'clock on a Monday morning, and you got to make that big presentation. You got to take those big exams at school. Any kind of stresses in the family environment. Of course, there are many, many of those that so many women face all week long. A lot of this tension, a lot of this stress that's adrenally driven really has a direct effect on the thyroid. So it's kind of like saying this, that we have two metabolisms. We have a stress metabolism and we have a normal metabolism. I refer to it as emergency and efficiency. So when you go into an emergency mode and you drive your metabolism into that very high drive sort of energy, it's very difficult for your thyroid to have to manage that. Your thyroid really regulates your metabolism, but it has to listen to the directions that it gets from your stress mechanisms. So if your adrenal glands and all your stress mechanisms are saying, hey, hurry up, we're in a hurry up mode here, we're in a stress mode, a high performance mode, that's really tough on your thyroid gland. Thyroid has to gear up, and it has to meet those really high demands of stress. Not an easy thing for a thyroid to do. So obviously, do I think there's less stress in the world now than there was 10 years ago or 20 years ago? Obviously, I don't. I know that there's incredibly more stress now than there ever was. And I'm guessing that next year and 5 years and 10 years from now, unfortunately, it's going to be that much more intense. So, unfortunately, these thyroids are really taking these hits for these stress issues, and really kind of having to try desperately to keep up with the push, the stress push, the metabolism push of emergency, if you will. So there's my spin on that. And again, let's kind of bring it on home here too. We were talking earlier in the broadcast, before we took your calls, about a remarkable product, phosphatidylserine, or PS. And PS is a natural occurring phospholipid, or a fat, if you will, of cells, very important for the maintenance of cell membranes in the highest concentration in brain cells. And again, a really important agent for supporting brain function, supporting memory, mood, the idea of judgment, abstract thought, personality, behavior, on and on and on and on. Again, as I pointed out again earlier, even a lot of interesting research indicating that Alzheimer's does indeed seem to respond to certain dosages of PS, or phosphatidylserine, in certain limited population studies. So I think it's probably a good idea to kind of at least open up your mind to PS, or phosphatidylserine, and take a look at it. Maybe do some searching down at the health food store, down at Good Health Natural Foods. Check it out on the shelves, and get on Google and maybe take a peek at the studies, the information there. And I think you'll be quite impressed with what you find. But phosphatidylserine is a remarkable, remarkable brain-boosting agent, and it's just my opinion that it works exceptionally well with DMAE. And again, the Jaro Neuro Optimizer, one of the things we heard the commercial for earlier in the broadcast, has a combination of these things in there, so it's great. But again, I think that you could easily work with the DMAE at 200 milligrams twice a day, one mid-morning, one mid-afternoon, better on an empty stomach, combined with phosphatidylserine, or PS, and I would say 100 milligrams, again, with each of those. So it's 100 phosphatidylserine, 200 DMAE. Okay, so one of each, mid-morning, and repeat that again mid-afternoon. All right, let's get one more call here before we part. Let's go to John in Boston. Welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks.
Yeah, hi. I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is there a cure for anxiety?
Well, I don't tend to really embrace the word cure. I think that what we need to do is we need to think about options and alternatives. There are indeed some viable options and alternatives for anxiety. There's something called GABA, G-A-B-A, gamma-aminobutyric acid, but you can think of it as GABA, G-A-B-A. And once again, Jara Formulas makes something called GABA Soothe. GABA Soothe. And it's a great product. Again, the key to GABA is it's something that your brain produces naturally to prevent anxiety on its own in its own natural way. And if those levels get low, of course, anxiety ensues. So a way to balance out your brain chemistry is to bring a little bit of supplemented GABA into the picture. And the key really, John, is whether it's absorbable. Most GABAs do not penetrate the brain-blood barrier. They're hard to get in there. There's a natural process, a manufacturing process that Jara Formulas utilizes that makes it very, very absorbable. So I'd recommend you check out GABA Soothe for anxiety and give that a try.
All right, thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling. All right, we're up against the time here, so per usual, we want to make sure that we thank our producer, Mike Roberts, for doing a great, great job as he does each and every week. We want to also thank Alex Todorovic, our intern, and our podcast meister, Adam Ing. And remember that if you want to check out this program any given point in time, you can just go to our website at maxhealing.com, and you can check out the archives of my Fox 25 presentations, my Living Well segments, as well as the great information that we share with you here on the Natural Health Show. And we want to thank Candida, of course, and again, encourage you to check out our website at maxhealing.com. And of course, thanks to everybody here at 96.9 for doing a great, great job. We appreciate all their support and help. And stay tuned for Woody and Abby and Right Turn Radio, #1, New England's #1 addiction program. Great program. So stay tuned for that broadcast. Until next Sunday, this is Mark Mincola reminding you all, please, be wise, be aware, be well, make it a healthy week. Good night.